Good evening everyone, good evening. I welcome you to the Vedantu Enlite channel. I hope all of you are doing great, having a good time. So people, quickly just let me know in the chats if I'm perfectly audible and visible to every one of you. Hello Sudan, hello Lahari, hello Wassim, hello Mustafid, hi Kifayat, hello Nitesh, hello James Berg. Hi Himashri, hello Kirtana, hello Nandani, hello Rakesh, hello Nitesh, welcome back everyone, welcome back. Just quickly give me some green signal from the chat so that I'll get to know I'm perfectly audible and visible to you, right? Hello Malika, welcome back everyone, welcome back. Quickly give me some green signal from the chat so that I'll get to know I'm perfectly audible and visible to everyone. Yes, let me know in the chats, people. Then we'll be starting the session. All right, people. All right. So let me first of all tell you this session is particularly for the ones who have just entered into class 11th, right? I mean the ones who are going to write the NEET or JEE in 2024. Yeah? So majority of you guys will be absolutely new to this particular channel, right? Because this is the first session which we are starting for the NEET and JEE 2024 students, right? And let me quickly tell you the description of this particular channel. In this particular channel, we actually teach all these subjects in English, right? This channel is particularly for the ones who cannot understand Hindi. So we'll be completing our course over here on this particular channel in complete English language, be it physics, be it chemistry, be it your biology, be it your maths as well, right? So before starting this particular session, my dear people, the ones who have just joined in, the ones who are new to the channel, I'll just quickly introduce myself. So my name is Wassim Sir and I'll be your chemistry master teacher right here on this particular Vedantu Enlite channel, right? The ones who have not liked the video yet, you guys can like the video, share the video with all of your friends so that everyone gets benefited out of these sessions, and do not forget to subscribe to the channel as well, right? So do like the video, share the video with friends, and do subscribe to the channel as well, all right? So you guys can first of all let me know in the chats if all of you are super duper excited about this particular session, yeah? Let me quickly know, my dear people, if all of you are super duper excited about this particular session. Let me see the josh of the session first, then we'll be starting, right? Perfect. Well, again, I'm telling this session is particularly for the ones who are going to write the JEE or NEET examination in 2024, right? Yeah. The next Zero to Hero Superhero series is going to be day after tomorrow, right? All right, so people, what all things we are going to cover in this particular session? Let me tell you, it's a bridge course, and what the bridge course is exactly all about. In the bridge course, basically, I'll be teaching you the basic, simple terminologies which we are frequently going to use in the first chapter of your class 11th chemistry, right? So I'll make sure the basic terminologies which are frequently used in the first chapter of your chemistry, all those basic terminologies gets cleared in this particular session which you guys have joined in, yeah? Perfect. So let's get going then. Let's get started with the basic terminologies which are involved in the first chapter of your chemistry, right? So I'll be starting the session with the first topic, with the first concept which I'm going to write on the screen, and the name of the topic, it's very simple and basic, is something which we call as atomic mass. So first of all, how do we define this term atomic mass? How this atomic mass term is defined, right? Let's get to know about atomic mass. I'll be first of all writing its simplest definition, then I'll make sure we understand its actual definition in detail. First, I'll be writing its simplest definition. And what is the simplest definition of the atomic mass? Atomic mass is defined as the mass of single atom of an element. I want you guys to take a note of every single thing which I'll be mentioning on the screen, right? Take a note of every single thing, whatever I'll be writing on the screen. I would want you guys to write down every single thing, okay? Now people, let's try to understand this atomic mass. Atomic mass, its basic definition is, it is defined as the mass of single atom of an element, right? So basically, for example, you need to calculate the atomic mass of oxygen. Let's say you need to calculate the atomic mass of oxygen. The first thing which you will be doing, you will be taking one atom of this element oxygen. You'll be taking one atom of oxygen. And let me tell you, whatever is going to be the mass of one atom of oxygen, that's something I'll be calling as atomic mass of oxygen, right? Similarly, let's say you need to calculate the atomic mass of an element boron. So what you guys will be doing, you will be taking exactly one atom of boron and you will be calculating the mass of one atom of boron, and whatever is going to be the mass of one atom of boron, that is something which I will be calling as atomic mass of boron. In the similar way, let's say you need to calculate the atomic mass of fluorine. Well, in order to calculate the atomic mass of fluorine, what you guys will be doing, you will be taking one atom of an element fluorine, right? You'll be taking one atom of fluorine. You will be calculating the mass of one atom of fluorine, and whatever is going to be the mass of one atom of fluorine, that's something which you will be calling as atomic mass of fluorine, right? So in short, how do we define the atomic mass of an element now? So basically, atomic mass is nothing, it is just the mass of single atom of an element. So whenever you need to calculate the atomic mass of an element, what is the first thing you will be doing? You will be taking one atom of that element and you will be calculating the mass of one atom of that particular element, and mass of one atom of that particular element is something which you will be calling as atomic mass of that particular element, right? So that's why I wrote the simplest definition over here. Atomic mass is nothing, it is just the mass of single atom of an element, right? This is the basic definition of the term atomic mass, number one. Now before understanding its actual definition, I would want to clear few basic things more, then only I will be coming on to the actual definition of something called as atomic mass, right? Let's have a look on few basic things. Have a look, people. For example, this is the object which I'm taking. Let's say this is the object which I'm taking into consideration, some object, right? I'm saying mass of this particular object is, for example, 5 kilograms. Let's say the object, its mass is 5 kilograms. Let's say I've got one more bigger sized object. I'm assuming the mass of this particular object is around 10 kilograms. This is something which I'm assuming, right? Yeah? I've taken two objects. The mass of the first object I'm assuming as 5 kilograms. The mass of the second object I'm assuming as 10 kilograms. Now what is meant by these terminologies? Have a look exactly what is meant by this. So first of all, this 5 kilogram, can I write it like this? 5 multiplied by 1 kilogram? Absolutely, I can write it like this, yeah? Similarly, this 10 kilogram, can I write it simply as 10 multiplied by 1 kilogram? Absolutely, I can do it, right? Why did I break this 5 kilogram as 5 into 1 kilogram? Why did I break this 10 kilogram as 10 multiplied by 1 kilogram? There is a reason for it. There is a reason for it, understand. I can say this particular object, it is 5 times heavier than 1 kilogram. I can say this particular object, it is 10 times heavier than 1 kilogram, right? For example, if I talk about my weight is, for example, 75 kilograms. What it means exactly? It means I am 75 times heavier than 1 kilogram, right? So basically, if you particularly understand, if you carefully understand, what am I doing exactly? Can I say I'm exactly comparing the masses of different objects? I'm exactly comparing the masses of different objects with this 1 kilogram, right? As simple as that. Yes, I took an object and I'm saying its weight is 5 kilogram. I can say the object is 5 times heavier than 1 kilogram, right? Similarly, I can say this particular object, it's 10 times heavier than 1 kilogram. I am 75 times heavier than 1 kilogram, right? So basically, what am I exactly doing? I'm exactly comparing the masses of different objects with 1 kilogram, right? So this 1 kilogram with which I'm comparing masses of different objects, can I say this 1 kilogram is going to be our reference. This is our standard with which we compare masses of different objects, right? This 1 kilogram over here, this is our standard, this is our reference with which we compare masses of different objects, right? Now people, you know, in chemistry we deal with atoms, we deal with molecules, right? So in chemistry also, we should have one standard like this 1 kilogram, right? In chemistry also, we should have a standard, we should have a reference like this, so that we can compare masses of different atoms or molecules with that standard, right? Yes, so in chemistry, we definitely need a reference, we definitely need a standard with which we can compare masses of different atoms or molecules. Now the point is, what is that standard in chemistry with which we compare masses of different atoms or different molecules, right? Let's try to make that standard in chemistry with which we are going to compare the masses of different atoms or molecules. Yeah, let's try to make that standard. And I would want you guys to understand all these things properly, okay? So in order to make that standard in chemistry with which we can compare the masses of different atoms or molecules, what I'll be exactly doing, I will be taking a carbon 12 atom. I will be taking a carbon 12 atom, right? Now first of all, I'm assuming this is your carbon 12 atom. I'm assuming this is the carbon 12 atom which we have, right? Now people, what I'll be exactly doing, I will be dividing this carbon 12 atom into 12 equal parts. Understand exactly what all things I'm going to do, right? I took a carbon 12 atom and I'm just dividing this carbon 12 atom into 12 equal parts. Well, after dividing this carbon 12 atom into 12 equal parts, if I just take one small part of this, can I say this part, this shaded part, its mass is simply going to be 1/12 of, its mass is simply going to be 1/12 of the mass of carbon 12 atom. As simple as that, right? So what I exactly did, I took a carbon 12 atom, I divided this carbon 12 atom into 12 equal parts. And after dividing the carbon 12 atom into 12 equal parts, I just took one atom I just took one part out of it, and I'm saying mass of this shaded part over here, it is nothing, it is just 1/12 of mass of carbon 12 atom, right? So let me tell you, this 1/12 of mass of carbon 12 atom, this is also called as 1 AMU, which is also called as 1U, which is also called as 1D. Let me first of all tell you, this AMU stands for atomic mass unit. Atomic mass unit. This U stands for unified mass. Unified mass, and this D, it stands for Dalton. So again, I'm telling you the same thing. I just took a carbon 12 atom, I divided this carbon 12 atom into 12 equal parts. I'm just taking one part out of it, and I'm saying mass of this smaller part is nothing, it is 1/12 of mass of carbon 12 atom, right? And this 1/12 of mass of carbon 12 atom, this is also called as 1 AMU, or you can call it as 1U, or you can call it as 1D. And let me tell you, this 1/12 of mass of carbon 12 atom, right? Whatever is going to be the mass of this shaded part, that is going to be our reference, that is going to be our standard with which we compare masses of different atoms or molecules, right? So from now onwards, first thing which you need to remember, whenever you need to calculate the mass of an atom, right, you will be always comparing the mass of the atom with this 1/12 of mass of carbon 12 atom, right? This is something which you'll be doing from now onwards, yeah? And let me tell you, this 1/12 of mass of carbon 12 atom, this is our reference, this is our standard with which we'll be comparing the masses of different atoms or molecules, right? So I'll just write one quick statement over here that's going to be really important for you, yeah? Have a look exactly, guys. I'm writing over here as 1 AMU, 1 AMU, 1 atomic mass unit, which you call as 1U as well, which is what you call as 1D as well, right? 1 AMU, how did we define it exactly? We defined it simply as 1/12 of mass of carbon 12 atom, right? We defined it as 1/12 of mass of carbon 12 atom, right? Now we will understand few important terminologies, few important things. Let me tell you, if I talk about this whole carbon 12 atom, right? If I talk about this whole carbon 12 atom, what scientists exactly did, They used a technique called as mass spectrometry, by means of which they calculated the mass of whole carbon-12 atom, and the mass of whole carbon-12 atom was found out to be 1.99 into 10 raised power minus 23 grams, right? So what scientists exactly did? They calculated the mass of whole carbon-12 atom, and it was found out to be 1.99 into 10 raised power minus 23 grams. This is the mass of whole carbon-12 atom, right? So basically, I took a carbon-12 atom. I divided this carbon-12 atom into 12 equal parts, right? If you know the mass of whole carbon-12 atom is 1.99 into 10 raised power minus 23 grams, can you tell me what is going to be the mass of this shaded part? Can I say mass of this particular shaded part is nothing? It is going to be equal to mass of whole carbon-12 atom, which is 1.99 into 10 raised power minus 23 divided by 12, and this value, when you solve it, it will come out to be 1.66 into 10 raised power minus 24 grams, right? So if I ask you something like this, have a look. If I ask you, what is this term all about? Is this the mass of whole carbon-12 atom? No way. This is not the mass of whole carbon-12 atom. This is just the mass of 1/12 part of carbon-12 atom, right? This is the mass of this shaded part which I'm taking into consideration over here, right? I'm sure till here every single thing is clear, right? Again, let me revise the same things. I took the carbon-12 atom, I divided it into 12 equal parts. I'm just taking one part out of it. I'm saying mass of this shaded part is nothing, it's 1/12 of mass of carbon-12 atom, right? And this 1/12 of mass of carbon-12 atom, this is going to be our reference, right? This is going to be our standard with which we compare the masses of different elements. And this standard, this reference, it is also called as 1 AMU, it's also called as 1U, which is also called as 1D. AMU stands for atomic mass unit, U stands for unified mass, and D stands for the Dalton, right? Okay. Now we will understand few more important terminologies. I'm sure you would have taken everything, right? You would have taken down everything, whatever I mentioned on the screen till now, yeah? Now have a look exactly what all things I'm going to talk about. This is one important statement which you just need to remember over here, yeah? Now, I'm sure every one of you would have seen the periodic table, right? In periodic table, what do we have exactly? We have got elements, right? We have got elements. Every element is represented like this. Let's say this is the element. Just below this element, we write its atomic number, which is represented by which is represented by Z. And on the top of it, we represent M over here, where M represents the atomic mass, and Z represents the atomic number. This is the general representation of an element on the periodic table, right? This is the general representation of an element in the periodic table. Z represents atomic number and M represents atomic mass, right? Now people, I'm sure you guys will be remembering or knowing atomic masses of different elements. For example, have a look. Now the term atomic mass will be absolutely clear to you. Understand what all things I'm going to talk about now. Yeah? I'm writing something as atomic mass. I'm writing as atomic mass of nitrogen. Atomic mass of nitrogen. If I ask you first of all, what is meant by this term, atomic mass of nitrogen? What is meant by it? Atomic mass of nitrogen means, as far as the simplest earlier definition of atomic mass was concerned, atomic mass of nitrogen means that I'm talking about the mass of one atom of nitrogen. I'm talking about the mass of one atom of nitrogen. That's what I'll be calling as atomic mass of nitrogen, as simple as that, right? And you guys must be familiar with the fact atomic mass of nitrogen is nothing, it is just 14 AMU, correct? It is just 14 AMU. Now people, can I break this 14 AMU like this? Can I say it can be written as 14 multiplied by 1 AMU? Absolutely I can do that, right? Yes. Can I break this 1 AMU like this? Can I say instead of 1 AMU, I can write 1/12 of mass of carbon-12 atom? Absolutely. Can I break this 1 AMU in this way as well? Can I say instead of 1 AMU, I can write 1.66 into 10 raised to the power minus 24 grams, right? Let's try to decode all these statements which I've mentioned over here. Let's try to understand it. I wrote a statement, atomic mass of nitrogen. That means I'm particularly talking about the mass of one atom of nitrogen, right? And atomic mass of nitrogen, or you can say mass of one atom of nitrogen, it is just equal to 14 AMU, right? What it means exactly? It means one atom of nitrogen is 14 times heavier than 1 AMU. We can say that, right? Or I can say one atom of nitrogen is 14 times heavier than 1/12 of mass of carbon-12 atom. I can say that, right? I can say this is the mass of one nitrogen atom exactly in grams, right? This is the mass of one nitrogen atom in grams, correct? So atomic mass of nitrogen, which tells about the mass of one atom of nitrogen, which is 14 AMU. That means one nitrogen atom is 14 times heavier than 1 AMU. Or you can say one nitrogen atom is 14 times heavier than 1/12 of mass of carbon-12 atom. Or you can say one atom of nitrogen is 14 times heavier than that shaded part, which I made initially, right? Or I can say this is the mass of one nitrogen atom in grams. As simple as that, right? Perfect. Let me quickly know in the chats if everything seems clear till here. Just give me some thumbs ups in the chats. I'll get to know that you got it properly. Yeah? Let me quickly know in the chats, my dear people. Then only I will be writing one more statement. Perfect, people. Wonderful. All right, all right. Perfect. So I'll be writing one more statement and just decode this statement over here. I'm writing something as atomic mass of oxygen. Can you just let me know what is meant by this term, atomic mass of oxygen? Can I say atomic mass of oxygen is nothing? It is just the mass of one atom of oxygen. It is just the mass of one atom of oxygen, right? And how much is it going to be? Can I say it's nothing, it's just 16 AMU, right? 16 AMU, can we write it like this as 16 multiplied by 1 AMU? We can do that, right? Instead of 1 AMU, can we write 1/12 of mass of carbon-12 atom? Absolutely, we can do that. Instead of 1 AMU, can you write 1.66 into 10 raised to the power minus 24 grams? You can absolutely do it, right? So have a look exactly what is meant by this term. Atomic mass of oxygen. What is meant by it? It means we are talking about the mass of one atom of oxygen. And one atom of oxygen, it is 16 times heavier than 1 AMU, right? One atom of oxygen is 16 times heavier than 1/12 of mass of carbon-12 atom, right? And this is basically the mass of one oxygen atom in grams. That's all, right? Yeah, that's all. Isn't it simple, guys? In the similar way, I can just write one more statement just to make you understand the concept of atomic mass, the definition of atomic mass. I'll be just writing one statement over here. See, I'm writing something as atomic mass of sodium. Sodium is represented by Na. What is meant by this? What is meant by this? Atomic mass of sodium. It means we are talking about the mass of one atom of sodium, right? And you guys know the atomic mass of sodium, it's 23 AMU, or you can break it as 23 multiplied by 1 AMU, or instead of 1 AMU, you can write it as 23 multiplied by 1/12 of mass of carbon-12 atom, or you can write as 23 multiplied by, instead of 1 AMU, you can just write 1.66 into 10 raised power minus 24 grams. As simple as that, right? So I think it's clear. Yeah? Atomic mass of sodium. That means we are talking about the mass of one atom of sodium, which is exactly equal to 23 AMU. Or I can say it is 23 times heavier than 1 AMU. Or I can say it is 23 times heavier than 1/12 of mass of carbon-12 atom, right? Or I can say this is the mass of one sodium atom in grams, right? So if you need to define the atomic mass now, if you want to write one more definition of atomic mass, so what is atomic mass exactly? Atomic mass, it is basically a number like 14 in case of nitrogen, 16 in case of oxygen, 23 in case of sodium, right? Atomic mass is basically a number which tells us how many times an atom of an element is heavier than 1 AMU, right? Right? You can define atomic mass like this, yeah? Or you can say atomic mass is a number which tells us how many times an atom of an element is heavier than 1/12 of mass of carbon-12 atom. As simple as that, right? Because you got to know a few minutes back only. You got to know by the term atomic mass, you got to know one oxygen atom is 16 times heavier than 1 AMU. One nitrogen atom is 14 times heavier than 1 AMU, right? One sodium atom is 23 times heavier than 1 AMU. So atomic mass is just the number which tells us how many times an atom of an element is heavier than 1/12 of mass of carbon-12 atom, which we call as 1 AMU as well. Yeah. So I'll be writing its quick definition, one more definition, and I would want you guys to take a note of this definition as well. So I'm writing something like this. Atomic mass is a number which tells how many times an atom of an element is heavier than 1/12 of the mass of carbon-12 atom, right? This is the definition of atomic mass. I'm sure every single thing is clear to you, right? Let me quickly know in the chats if all the things are clear so that I can move on and talk about one more important terminology, right? Let me quickly know in the chats, people, if every single thing seems clear. I'm looking at your chats only. Yeah? Is it clear to everyone? Perfect. All right. All right. Perfect. Perfect, guys. So I'm going to write one more terminology. Nikesh, yes, I know it's 11. If you're feeling sleepy, you can go to sleep. I'm not stopping you, right? Yes. It's completely your wish whether you want to attend the session or not, yeah? Right? But do remember, you're not right now in class 10th. Now you have entered into class 11th, right? Right? You cannot sleep at 8. All right, people. So let's move on to one more basic terminology. That is molecular mass. This is one more basic terminology which you guys must know. What this molecular mass exactly is all about. How do we first of all define it, and then how do we calculate it, right? See, have a look. Molecular mass is basically defined as the mass of one molecule. The mass of one particular molecule defines its molecular mass. Or before making you understand this definition, let me write one more definition of it. It is defined as, molecular mass, it's defined as the sum of atomic masses of different elements, the sum of atomic mass of different elements in a molecule. What is meant by it? Let's try to understand. See guys, for example, if I talk about water, right? What is the molecular formula of this particular water? It's H2O, correct? Let's say I need to calculate the molecular mass of water. First of all, you can only calculate the molecular mass of water if you will be exactly having one molecule of water. Right? And let me tell you, whatever is going to be the mass of one molecule of water, that is something which I will be calling as molecular mass of water. As simple as that, right? For example, you need to calculate the molecular mass of ammonia. You can only calculate the molecular mass of ammonia if you will be having just one molecule of ammonia. And let me tell you, whatever is going to be the mass of one particular molecule of ammonia, that is something which I will be calling as molecular mass of ammonia. As simple as that, right? As simple as that. In the similar way, my dear people, if you need to calculate the molecular mass of glucose, you can only calculate the molecular mass of glucose if you will be having just one molecule of glucose. And whatever is going to be the mass of one molecule of glucose, that's something which I will be calling exactly as the molecular mass of glucose, as simple as that. So in short, whenever you need to calculate the molecular mass of a particular substance, you should have one molecule of that substance. And whatever is going to be the mass of one molecule of that substance, that's something which you will be calling exactly as the molecular mass of that particular substance. As simple as that, right? Yeah. So let me make you understand this a bit more in detail. See, I need to calculate the molecular mass of water, right? That's why I took one molecule of water. How do we calculate the molecular mass? I wrote its one more definition. It is defined as the sum of atomic masses, right? So if I ask you first of all, in case of water, how many different types of elements do we have? We have got oxygen, we have got hydrogen, right? I'm sure every one of you will be knowing the atomic mass of hydrogen, that's 1 AMU. And how many hydrogen atoms do we have? We have got 2 hydrogen atoms over here. If I ask you, what is the atomic mass? What is the atomic mass of this oxygen, right? It's just 16 AMU. And how many oxygen atoms do we have? 1, right? The value comes out to be simply 18 AMU. Either you just write 18 AMU, or you can write exactly as 18 multiplied by 1 AMU, right? Or instead of 1 AMU, you can write 1/12 of mass of carbon 12 atom, right? Or you can write 18 multiplied by, instead of 1 AMU, you can just write 1.66 into 10 raised power minus 24 grams, right? So people, if I ask you, just define the term which I mentioned over here. Since we are talking about the molecular mass of water, we are talking about the mass of one molecule of water, right? We are talking about the mass of one molecule of water, and you got to know the mass of one molecule of water, which is what you call as molecular mass of water. That is nothing, that's 18 AMU. What does it means exactly? It means one molecule of water is 18 times heavier than 1 AMU, or you can say one molecule of water is 18 times heavier than 1/12 of mass of carbon 12 atom. And this term which you got over here, this is basically the mass of one water molecule in grams. That's all, right? Yes, isn't it simple, my dear people? Isn't it simple and basic? Yeah, perfect. So let me take few more examples so that it gets clear to you. For example, I write something as molecular mass of NH3. Then for example, I'm writing molecular mass of glucose, right? Then for example, I'm writing molecular mass of H3PO4, right? These are the three terminologies which I've written over here. Understand? Molecular mass of NH3, what it means exactly? It means we are talking about the mass of one molecule of NH3, right? It means we are talking about the mass of one molecule of NH3, right? And how do we calculate the mass of one molecule of NH3? You just need to do the addition of the atomic masses of these elements, right? Yeah? Have a look. Nitrogen, it has got the atomic mass of 14 AMU. How many nitrogen atoms do we have? 1. Apart from this, if I talk about hydrogen, what about its atomic mass? 1 AMU. And how many hydrogen atoms do we have? 3. The value comes out to be 17. You can write either AMU or you can write U, because you know 1 AMU is equal to 1 U, which is 1D, right? What it means exactly? It means one NH3 molecule is 17 times heavier than what? 17 times heavier than 1 AMU or 1 U. Or you can say one ammonia molecule is 17 times heavier than 1/12 of mass of carbon 12 atom, right? Or you can get its mass in grams as well. Instead of 1 U, you can write 1.66 into 10 raised power minus 24 grams. This is the mass of one ammonia molecule in grams. As simple as that, right? Perfect. In the similar way, have a look on the second statement as well. Molecular mass of glucose, right? Molecular mass of glucose, that means we are talking about the mass of one molecule of glucose, right? How do we calculate the mass of one molecule of glucose? What you need to simply do is, you'll be just making the sum of the atomic mass of these elements. If I ask you what about the atomic mass of carbon, you'll say it's 12. How many carbon atoms do we have? 6. What about the atomic mass of hydrogen? That's 1 AMU. And how many hydrogen atoms do we have? 12, right? How many oxygen, what is the atomic mass of oxygen? That's 16 AMU, right? How many oxygen atoms do we have? 6. The value exactly comes out to be 180 AMU or 180 U, you can write, yeah? And you can easily decode this as well. I can say one glucose molecule is 180 times heavier than 1 AMU, or you can say one glucose molecule is 180 times heavier than 1 U, or you can say one glucose molecule is 180 times heavier than 1/12 of mass of carbon-12 atom, or else you can easily calculate its mass in grams as well. You can say 180 multiplied by 1 U. Instead of 1 U, you can write as 1.66 into 10 raised by minus 24 grams, right? This is how you can write it as well, correct? This is the last example, my dear people. Molecular mass of H3PO4. What is meant by it? It means we are talking about the mass of one molecule of H3PO4. And one molecule of H3PO4, we need to calculate its mass. What you need to do exactly? You'll be doing the sum of the atomic masses of these elements in this particular molecule. As simple as that. Starting from hydrogen, its atomic mass is 1 AMU. How many hydrogen atoms do we have? 3. Phosphorus, its atomic mass is 31 AMU. How many phosphorus atoms do we have? 1. Oxygen, its atomic mass is 16 AMU. How many oxygen atoms do we have? 4. The value exactly comes out to be 98 U, or you can call it as 98 AMU, right? Or you can write this 98 U as 98 multiplied by 1 U, or instead of 1 U, you can just write 1.66 into 10 raised power minus 24 grams, right? So, my dear people, what you got to know exactly? You got to know the molecular mass of H3PO4. You got to know the mass of one molecule of H3PO4, and it came out to be 98 U. Or I can say one molecule of H3PO4 is 98 times heavier than 1 U, or you can say one molecule of H3PO4 is 98 times heavier than, 1/12 of mass of carbon-12 atom, right? And this is going to be the mass of one H3PO4 molecule in grams, yeah? I'm giving you some questions as the homework. You can write their answer once the video ends in the comment section of the particular video, right? So I'm giving you H2SO4, you need to tell me its molecular mass. I'm writing H2SO5, you need to tell me its molecular mass as well, right? I'm writing H2PO3, you need to let me know its molecular mass. H3PO2, you need to write its molecular mass, right? K4, or wait, NH4 positive, you need to write its molecular mass, right? For example, I'm writing FeCO5, you need to write its molecular mass, yeah? And similarly, I'm giving you one more example, K2, or let's make it as K4, this is Fe, this is CN6, right? Do one thing, calculate the molecular masses of each and write their molecular masses in the comment section of this particular video. I'll be checking them exactly one by one, right? Yeah? So people, in this particular session, we talked about two terminologies. One was atomic mass and one was molecular mass, right? Okay? So before ending this particular session, if you want to get trained by me, right? If you want to get trained by the master teachers of Vedantu for complete 2 years, be it your NEET 2024 or JEE 2024, you can get enrolled to our actual batch, which is there on the actual Vedantu platform, apart from these YouTube sessions, right? So let me just give you the quick introduction about that batch, in which you will be getting trained by us on the actual Vedantu platform for complete 2 years, right? Till you enter into the respective IITs, NITs, or the government medical college, right? So basically, the batch which we are starting on the actual Vedantu platform is for NEET as well as JEE 2024 students, right? Well, what all features you guys are getting in this particular batch? Well, you can go for Pro Lite batch, or you can go for Live Pro at Vedantu. Yes. So first of all, have a look. In the particular batches which I'm talking about right now, you'll be getting the live classes, right? You'll be getting the live classes in all the 3 subjects, physics, chemistry, as well as mathematics, as well as biology, right? Depending on whether you're the NEET student or the JEE student, right? If you want to get trained by us for complete 2 years, you have to get enrolled into this particular batch, number 1. Number 2, in the particular batch, we'll be completing your whole course in all the subjects, right? Of your class 11th as well as class 12th, right? So you need not to worry about the syllabus completion. That is on us. We are going to complete that. Well, apart from the syllabus completion, during the live session, if you got any sort of difficulty in understanding the concept or something, you can ask us the doubt. The concept at that point itself will be helping you out in understanding that doubt will be clearing that doubt at that point itself. So you need not to wait for something else. At that point itself, you can unmute yourself, you can uncam yourself, you can ask your doubt to your master teacher directly, right? And the batches are going to be in complete Hindi as well as English. It's completely going to be your wish to choose the batch, either Hindi or in English, right? At the same time, people, at the same time, let me tell you, after the session in the batch, you will be getting the class notes, the handwritten class notes by your master teachers, right? Assignments will be provided to you after every session, right? There will be a revision. There'll be a revision. Once we are done with class 11th course, there'll be a revision of entire class 11 syllabus, right? And then we'll be starting the class 12 syllabus. And similarly, when the class 12 syllabus gets over, there'll be a revision of that class 12 syllabus as well, right? No need to worry about the test series, assignment, study material. The best part which you are getting over here in this batch, my dear people, that is the study material. That is one of the finest, the best study material which I have ever come across in my teaching career. That's what we call as Vedantu Tattva material. That is one of the finest, one of the great study materials which you can ever get, my dear people. Trust me, if you just follow the Vedantu's Tattva material, you need not to solve any book, you need not to follow any other book. That Tattva material is enough for your selection, right? So how do we get enrolled into this particular batch which I'm talking about? Let me quickly show you a few more interesting things. Well, we have got 3 courses for you, right? You can get into the course by AI Live, or you can take the Live Pro Lite, or you can take the Live Pro Classic, depending on your thing. See guys, what is the difference? What is the difference between the 3? In this program is for 14,850 for complete 2 years. So for complete 2 years, you need to pay this much of amount, right? It's complete 2 years. It's a package of 2 years, right? And at the same time, in this particular program, your doubts will be solved by the class teachers, not the master teachers. In this program, it'll be by the master teacher. In this one, it'll be for the master teacher, right? Yes, people. And rest all the features you can directly see, right? For example, live in-class quizzes will be there in this program as well as this one, What makes these programs different? Live discussion of study material won't happen in this program, but live discussion of study material will happen in this program as well as this program, right? Post-class doubt solving. After the class, if you face any sort of doubt, right? That after the class, that doubt cannot get solved in this program, neither in this one, but in this one, it will get solved, right? And at the same time, the assignments as well, everything will be provided to you. So it's going to be completely your wish to select the program. Well, I would suggest to go for this one, right? Because this one covers the majority of the things. I would suggest you guys to go for this particular program. And how do we get enrolled in this one? And this program is called as Live Pro Lite, right? Or you can try this AI Live as well. You can try this as well, right? This is also one of the finest ones, yeah? But to get the more benefits out of it, because it's a 2-year classroom program, I would suggest you guys to get enrolled in this one or finally this one, because in this one, everything is included, every single thing. You get personally trained by the different teachers. Whenever you want to ask your doubts to your teachers, you can ask it anytime in this particular program, which is what we call as Live Pro Classic. And how do we get enrolled into this particular batch, which I'm talking about through these programs? See guys, this is the video which you guys are currently watching, right? This is the video which you guys are currently watching. Just drag it a little down. Click on more. After clicking on more, over here are certain links, right? If you want to go for the NEET 2024 English batch, you can go for it. JEE 2024 English batch, right? JEE 2020, okay, 2023 I'm not talking about, I'm talking about 2024 only. For example, if you are the JEE student, JEE 2024 or NEET 2024, you can select your link accordingly. For example, I'm clicking on this one. After clicking on this one, just drag it a little down, right? Just drag it a little down, yeah? You can, this course for 2 years is for 14,850. You can click on this buy course over here, right? You can click over here on this buy course. After clicking on this, you can put your number, email ID on which you get the OTP and everything, and eventually you'll be getting enrolled into the batch which I'm talking about, right? For 2023 also, we are starting the batch, right? The link is there in the description box of the video only for NEET 2023 as well as JEE 2023. It's completely your wish to select the link, get enrolled into the batch, in which you get trained by the finest teachers of Vedantu. Trust me on that, right? So this was the NEET 2024 enrollment batch. So if you are the JEE student, then you can go for JEE 2024 Pro Lite batch. Click on this particular link. Well, after clicking on the link, just drag it a little down, click on buy course. This course is also you are getting in 14,850, right? Yes. click on buy course over here. After clicking on buy course, put your number, email ID on which you get the OTP, and eventually you get enrolled into the batch which I'm talking about right now. So it's my personal suggestion for you guys to get enrolled into these batches. These are going to be beneficial for you. You need not to go for any offline coaching or whatever if you get enrolled into these batches, because these are the finest batches which are actually designed by the founders of Vedantu, who actually have got the experience of providing the single digit all India ranks in your NEET and JEE examination, right? So do get enrolled in it as soon as possible before the batch gets filled, right? So see you in these batches which I was talking about, because I'll be one of your master teachers of chemistry in these batches which I showed you over here, right? If you are NEET student or JEE student, right? So with this, I'll be taking a leave, my dear people. I'll see you guys tomorrow at the same time. Till then, you take care. Bye-bye. God bless you all. Love you all. And if you'll be having any sort of doubt regarding these courses, you can write your doubt. You can write it in the comment section of the video. I'll be personally letting you know how to tackle that sort of doubt during the enrollment, right? So with this, I'll be taking a leave here. I'll see you guys tomorrow at the same time. Till then, you take care. Bye-bye. God bless you all. Love you all. But do get enrolled as soon as possible, my dear people, right? Take care. God bless you all.